Yo boys, back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a good old-fashioned Assassination Rogue guide. I know it's been about 3 or 4 weeks since I've uploaded, and we usually do a guide every few months, but we're going to be doing one regardless. We're going to get it out there. So before we start this video, make sure you smash that like, comment, and subscribe. Now keep in mind I haven't played in a while, so the gearing will be down and below. I'm just going to go over a quick, rotation of the gearing just real quick. But again, it'll be down below for the actual current gear that you're looking to go. For example, you may not be running this even as the epic version. So it really just depends. I don't really know what people are running nowadays. Again, I haven't played Rogue in a minute since I've done my last video, so it has been a minute. That being said, again, just look down below, check it out. I'll have the gear down below. You are going to be running 4-set. I'm 99% sure you're still running 4-set. Now, you have options whether you want to run the badge trinket or the haste trinket. Now, if you're looking for pure burst, I would probably run the badge trinket. I've seen a lot of rogues run it. If you're looking for just pure maximum damage burst, you're going to be running that badge. You'll just use it into your macro. Otherwise, I just run the haste trinket. I just think overall it's better. Again, when you're running a lot of mastery, you really don't have much haste to begin with. So having that extra haste is kind of nice. That's pretty much it with the gear. The next one we're going to go in straight into the macros. So the macros is kind of the same thing that I always go over. Now again, if you're orc, you can put your orc racial into the macro, but obviously night elf's just overall better. You're getting a free vanish, so what's not to like about that? That being said, we have Thistle Tea, we have Deathmark. Thistle Tea gives you a mastery buff if you didn't know. That's why we put it into our macro, because you're getting that, that's a lot of mastery, to be honest, including the haste. Now, you might waste a little bit of your energy by doing that, but you're getting a lot more burst. So it's worth doing it. It's not really going to hurt you all that much, considering you have 3 of them. You're kind of gonna have one at all times anyway. The next one we have is our original stat macro. We've had this from the very start, probably 10 plus years at this point. I've had it from the beginning of the Age of Dawn, so we've had it for a long time. If you're looking for the OG stat macro, this is the oldest stat macro that I have that's still working. If you're wondering what it does, if you'll see my videos, I have a regular sap, and then I have a sap macro. So if I want to go and do this and sap whatever's in stealth, it'll target whatever I'm looking at. So if I'm targeting this guy, it's going to do this. But if I target this guy, it'll basically just sap whoever's in front of you. It's really nice. You obviously want a regular sap without it being macro, just so you can actually just sap without having any type of complications. Because obviously the sap macro is going to sap anything in front of you. That can be a bad thing, especially if you sap the wrong target. So it's really just good for stealthies. That being said, that is pretty much it for the macros for the most part. We have the Kingsbane macro. It's basically just Coldblood and Kingsbane. Now, for some reason, I have 2 of them. 90% sure this is the one that you want because it's gonna click your Coldblood before it clicks the Kingsbane, so you're gonna want that. But that's just your Kingsbane. Whenever I click Kingsbane, it's gonna use my Coldblood, then my Kingsbane. Pretty much, self-explanatory. It's going to get your max damage because you're using Coldblood first. That is pretty much your macros. I don't really have anything else. That's pretty much it. The next one we're going to go with is going with the add-ons. We're running big debuffs. We're running details. Now, sometimes I'm also running ability team tracker, so it really just depends on what you want to run. I also run Omnicd, so it's your choice whether you want to run both or whatever, but it's your call. So big debuffs, basically what that's going to do, everybody should have big debuffs, no matter what. Because what ends up happening is, as a rogue or as any stunner or any CC'er, it's going to show on their face. So when I'm doing this, and when I use my grow, it's going to tell me when that's going to be over. That's how everybody's timing their CC or their restuns. You gotta have big debuffs. I know a lot of people don't use it, but you should. It's just way easier. We have details, which basically shows you who's breaking your CC, who's interrupting, who's doing dispels, who's doing, it shows everything. It literally shows everything. It's just good to have no matter what class you are. Because again, if something gets buffed and you see another rogue that's doing 10 times the damage you're doing, if you go to their damage, it's going to show something different, usually. So it's just good to have. The next one we have is nameplate cooldowns. I get a lot of questions about that. Not as much nowadays, but I used to get a lot. Basically shows their cooldowns above their nameplates. It's really good just to have no matter what class you're playing. It just, especially if you're in melee right on top of somebody, you don't really have to worry about it. So nameplate cooldowns are really nice. Omnibar is going to show all their abilities at the bottom left. For example, I use this when I'm playing my healers or casters. I'm able to track kick, step, stuns, whatever, burst. You're able to track whatever you want. So it's your call whether you want that. The next one we have is Omnicd, which is going to show your teammates cooldowns. Another major cooldown. Knowing what CDs your teammates have, I always use this as an example. Crusader doesn't run this, and a lot of times he ends up overlapping cooldowns because he doesn't usually know what his teammates have. So again, just knowing what your teammates have at all times is just, there's nothing bad about that. You can't mistake it. There's no, what ifs. There's just that. The next one we have is Sarena. Basically shows my opponents. I guess everybody kind of knows what this is by now. Sarena basically just shows, it's the basic. Everybody probably has this or Gladius at this point, so I'm not really going to explain it too much. If you're looking to copy the same thing that I have, I'll go through this really quick. You can just put the same settings, just pause the video, whatever you want to do. I'm just going to go over it really quick. So if you want to have the same exact thing as me, then you can do what you want to do. That's pretty much that. The next thing we have is Trophy GCD. I only really use it when I'm doing videos. I usually just have it up because it's, why not? It basically just shows all the abilities that I'm using. You can set a bound for how many abilities you want to show. It's your call at that point. But it's really nice to have, especially if you're doing like videos. Otherwise, it's not really needed. That's pretty much it. So that's the add-ons, the macros. Now we're going to go straight into the talents where there are a few options. This is my default options. So we have Disarm, we have Smoke Bomb, and Hemotoxin. Now Hemotoxin and Smoke Bomb are a must. I have these 99% of the time. Hemotoxin it's just way too good not to use, and then Smoke Bomb, it gives you way too much windows to kill somebody. So it comes down to these two options. You either want extra wall or you want disarm. Now if I'm facing something that I don't need to disarm, this is my normal talents. But if I'm facing a rogue, a warrior, a ret paladin, anything that disarm is good against, I'm going to be running disarm. Otherwise I'm running maneuver. It's just better. It's a perma wall. There's nothing bad about it. Now when do I run cheat death? There's only a few situations where I do run cheat death versus sub rogues, versus double DPS, and versus maybe like enhancement shaman. Anything that'll one-shot you. Anything that you feel like, okay, this guy bursts me and I die in 2 seconds, run cheat death. Anytime you face a double DPS, run cheat death. Anytime you face a rogue, if you need to, run cheat death. Cheat death is overall good. I would say elusiveness is better in an overall game, but cheat death is still good. So it's your call whether you want to run that or not. That being said, that's the gear. That's everything you need to know. Now I'm going to go with a quick rotation real quick over before we get into some actual gameplay. So all you're going to be doing this, you're going to be in stealth. All you're doing is, when this is lit up, you're going to garrote spam. What I like to do is I'll open, put the garrotes out, immediately cheap shot, and then get all my bleeds out as fast as possible. It'll usually look like this. So I'm going to open. Everything's going to get garroted at the same time, as you can see. So off this, we're going to cheap shot, rupture, and as you can see, when this is lit up, it's going to rupture the other target. Once you have this down, so what I like to do is, while I'm doing my opener, when this is lit up, I like to just spam it. You get 10 times the combo points in such a fast amount of time. When you see my videos where I'm literally spamming it for combo points, it's just good to do. So once I go do my opener, I have full bleeds. I'm spamming it again because I'm getting max combo points quickly. That's it. So you put your garrotes, your ruptures, and then your tempest. This is your 3 things you want up pretty much the entire game. After that, you're just kidney shotting. Now, when do you want to burst? Usually, I like to burst the second time. So after I get all my bleeds, that next kidney shot, I'm going to use my burst. That's when I usually burst. So I don't just immediately burst in the opener without bleeds. I like to get my bleeds up, do my mini opener first where I got bleeds on all the targets, and then you can decide who you want to burst on. So again, you're going to open, garrotes, immediately put a rupture up, then you can cheap shot. After that, I'm spamming growth to get more combo points, and that's your opener. You could even throw a shiv in there after. Since you have so many shivs, you can just throw in a shiv after your setup, and that's it. That's all you got to do. That's your opener. So you're going to open with Garrotes, get your bleeds up. You can honestly Garrote immediately cheap shot if you want. So instead of, getting your bleeds up then stunning, you can just do this. You can Garrote, cheap shot, Garrote, rupture, and then after this you just spam Garrotes, or you can even use your blades if they're stacked enough to get your combo points. It really comes down to your choice. Off that, you're going to throw out a shiv. That's your opener. It's pretty much basic forward information. Nothing crazy about it. Even if you mess up the rotation, it won't matter. As long as you do it in that format and you're getting those growths off and you're getting off your bleeds. Now, what happens when they're not stacked? When they're not stacked, your goal is to multi-growth as many targets as possible. So if the healer's way over here, go for it. Go and cheap shot him and growth him. So your main goal is to throw out growths on every target possible. So if I want to do this, I'm running over here. I'm going to growth this guy, cheap shot him here, get my bleeds up quickly, and then I see the healer over there. I'm going to immediately step him, swap to him. You can even throw in a kidney there. After this, you're just bleeding him up, and then, again, you're just putting bleeds on both of them, and that's it. Off that, you can shiv or do whatever you want to do. Again, if you do it quick enough, you shouldn't have to waste your kidney shot on the healer. You could actually just cheap shot him, but when I'm explaining it, I'm slower. So what I like to do, again, I'll growth everything, immediately cheap shot both targets. When they're stacked like that, you can't really afford to get stunned. So you immediately growth, cheap shot, get your bleeds up, and then immediately swap to the other target, step, cheap shot, growth, rupture. Past that, just get your Tempest rolling, and shiv. That's it. Again, nothing crazy. You'll see in my video as I can explain it better then. Now, when do you want to burst? So after your opener, so once I open on this guy, I get all my bleeds rolling like I showed you in the opener. So we get all of our bleeds rolling there. After this point, we have blind. What I like to do is I like to use my blind when I use my Deathmark. So with healers right over here, what I can do is I can blind, kidney shot, Deathmark. I can put a Kingsbane macro, shiv, and off this I can vanish, cheap shot, and then you're just re-putting your bleeds back on. You can re-cheap shot again if you want. Again, it's not really anything crazy. Put your Tempest up, keep your Tempest up. That's it. It's really not hard. You're going to Deathmark, use your Kingsbane macro, shiv after you use everything else. If you do it fast enough, it won't look sloppy like that. And that's really all it takes. Now, if you want to use a vanish off that kidney shot to do a cheap shot and to Garrote again or whatever, go for it. But that's really it. That's all you need. Again, your burst is going to be so strong in such a short amount of time where you're going to get cooldowns before you even have to do anything like that. By the time you get your bleeds up, they're going to have to trinket or they're going to die pretty quick. So that's pretty much it. That's your rotation. Again, you're just opening Garrote, cheap shot. I can Garrote again, put a rupture up, swap to the other target, cheap shot, Garrote, rupture. I can Garrote again. I can use my fangs. I can Tempest and then shiv both of them. And after that point, I'm just throwing out damage. That's it. That's it. That's really all it takes. Now I don't like using my kidney shot in the opener. So I'll use cheap shots in the opener. I'll use my kidney shot for my Deathmark. Now past your opener Deathmark, you can kidney shot every go. Every go. You can kidney shot every single go. Now again, you're usually going to be using a vanish or at least something to get a re-stealth. So you can stun both targets. 9 times out of 10, you'll see in my videos, I'm stunning everything. The moment I see that subterfuge come on, I'm stunning and Garroting everything. There's nothing that you shouldn't be stunning. Everything should be stunned. Everything should be getting CC'd. Everything should be getting Garroted. So I'm going to meet you guys in the real game where I can explain it better. So I'll see you guys there. Alrighty, we found a healer. Now, this is not your ideal healer comp. Usually you want to find the Void Priest. Void Priest is going to be by far your best option. Now, your second best option is going to be Evoker. Evoker and Void Priest. Those are your best options by far. They do a lot of damage, a lot of CC. There's nothing that you lose by playing with them. That being said, you were playing with the Mistweaver. So our goal is pretty much to hit both. You're never really training one target the entire game. You're bleeding both, and you're swapping back and forth, depending on what CDs they use. Now, usually as Assassination Rogue, you're going to be going healers a lot more. Especially anytime you face a Void Priest, you got to go to the Priest. Because if you do not go the priest, what ends up happening is he will sit there and just kill your entire team. The downside to playing with Void Priests and going against them is once you kick them and you just stay on top of them, they do lack healing. So once you realize you actually stop their damage, they will die. So here we're going to open with Garrotes. So Garrote, we'll cheap shot him, we'll cheap shot the Hunter as well. This is where we put full bleeds up on both of them. So at this point, we're just farming. We're going to Garrote again, Garrote one more time. We'll feign here. So now we've gotten full bleeds up. We're not going to trinket because we're not really doing anything yet. At this point, we're going to use full bleeds. Again, we're just keeping up our blades. We'll evasion this because why not? We have a kidney shot coming soon. So again, we're actually going to use our vanish here in a minute. So we're waiting. See, now we can vanish. We can cheap shot the Hunter. We're going to put bleeds up on him before we swap to this guy. So now we're swapping. This is where we're going to put a rupture up. This is where we burst. So Deathmark, we're going to shiv. Off this, we're going to vanish again. Off this, we're going to kick him. We're going to keep the damage going here. We're going to stun again, so we stun. We're going to stun one more time if we can. Nice, we can swap to the Hunter here. Put bleeds up on him. We're going to shiv him, actually, to keep maximum damage up. My guy should be able to keep me up. We'll put a rupture back on this guy. So again, keeping full bleeds up. We're going to try to kick him, so we immediately kick him here. We'll trinket this, because why not? No point in not trinketing here. So here we're going to put bleeds back up on the Hunter. Again, keep your bleeds up. We're going to use our Night Elf. So this is where your Night Elf is going to come in handy. He actually grips my bomb. Really good grip on him. We're going to put bleeds up on this guy. We're going to stun him. He actually stunned him for me, so that's not the greatest, but that's okay. Oh, he breaks all my bleeds. Eee, that's not good. So that's you don't want to break your rogue's bleeds. That's not good for us, but that's okay. It's whatever. It is what it is. So here we're going to reapply bleeds. We'll actually cloak this because they are doing a little bit of damage. We'll kick this guy. We're actually going to blind the Hunter here because we are taking a little bit of damage here. Hopefully my guy can get out of this and help me. Nice. Okay, he helps me out. We're going to kidney shot this guy so we can stop taking some damage. Somehow I survived there. We're going to swap to this guy, immediately kick. We actually fake cast, or he ended his cast early, whatever. So again, keeping both bleeds up. We are kind of lacking here. We are kind of falling a little bit behind. So we're going to go the Hunter a little bit more here. This guy is doing a lot of damage to me, actually. So we're going to shiv him, just to apply pressure. This is where we're going to burst. So we're going to burst hard here. Very hard burst. We're going to keep applying burst. Hopefully my guy can top me here. So he is dying still. He's definitely dying here. Nice, he turtles. We're going to bleed the priest here. We're going to kick him. So immediately kick him. He's going to cancel his turtle, probably. Maybe not. Yep, he does. So here we're going to use our feint. We're going to shiv him early here. We do have evasion, but we're going to wait till our healer CC'd. So once he gets CC'd, we're going to kidney shot the Hunter on his burst. So we have to hope my guy can top me. I do have a vanish available. We're going to bleed this guy as well. This is where we're going to vanish. We're going to cheap shot the healer. We're going to Garrote. And we're going to Tempest. So here we're going to Garrote again. Garrote one more time. We're going to use Deathmark out of this and just pump this guy. Even through his burst and everything else. Defensive cooldowns, we're just going to kill him right here. So we're going to do as much damage as possible here. He's probably going to... Oh, nice. He swaps. We're going to swap. We're going to evasion here on top of this. Okay, nice. Pre-evasion is fear. We're going to keep bleeding both of them. Again, just max bleeding. We're just killing everything right now. There's nothing we're not killing. We're going to kidney shot. We're going to swap to the healer because obviously this guy has a rupture on him. So we're going to go back to healer for a second. Put up rupture again. Use your blades every 10 seconds because why not? You might as well get free combo points. We're going to shiv this guy here, shiving him. We're going to put Tempest up. We're going to use our Night Elf racial so we can put free Garrotes up. Free Garrotes. We can cheap shot in 1 second. Nice. We can Kingsbane. We full Kingsbane. We do maximum damage here. He should die. He should flop right now and he gets taken out. There's a lot of stuff happening in the game. A lot of stuff. Now, my guy probably could have not broke all my bleeds at one time, but it wasn't that big of a deal. So again, it's fast-paced. It might seem like a lot of stuff's going on, but it's not as hard as it might look. It really does come down to it, just keeping your Garrotes, keeping your bleeds up. Again, you're never really sitting on one person the entire game. We started on the priest. We ended up killing the Hunter. You got to look for those openings in CDs. There's a lot of CDs that people have nowadays, so you have to look whoever's playing worse, whoever's using more CDs, whoever you think is going to die more, you need to go to that person. Because had I went to priest and not killed him right there, we probably would have lost. We had no more CDs. That was the end of the game. Thankfully, we ended up taking him out. Alrighty. We found another healer. So we got another one. Don't ask why and how. To be fair, he left. He left. It was not a kick. So we found an H-File. Now H-File also isn't that bad. So H-File's running rep, honestly, isn't bad. So if you're looking for your best healers, you're looking for number 1, Void Priest. Number 2, a Prez Evoker. Number 3 is going to be H-Pal. Now, even though H-Pals lack in mana, their CC is off the charts still. And they do pretty well with a rogue, especially with rep. Being able to rep in Hodge is actually a really, really good thing. Rest of druids, the problem with the rest of druids are it needs to be a really good druid to make it work. Because I feel like a lot of the druids, anytime I face a druid nowadays, they just flop. Obviously, unless I'm on my druid, then obviously I win the game, but that being said, we're going straight in. Now, anytime I face a caster, you usually need to go the caster, but I'm just going to sap him for now. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap the sap. So, I swapped the sap. Just kidding, he actually fears me. Somehow he saw me before I saw him. That's pretty wild, isn't it? It doesn't matter. We're immediately going with Garrotes here, so we're Garroting both. We're going to Garrote again. We're going to Tempest here. The one issue with this is he can dispel all my bleeds, so we have to be careful here. The reason we got to be careful, we're actually going to line. So here we're going to use our Night Elf Racial. We're going to stun him here, so we full stun. Now we're not going to use our burst yet. The reason we're not using our burst yet is because I got to wait for the next stun. Because I have to have him stunned whenever we burst. The reason is because otherwise he's just going to Trinket dispel all my bleeds. So unfortunately, I kind of have to just line here for a second. It kind of sucks. It's kind of how I have to play, but it is what it is. So we're going to try to get a reset. Oh, wow, that's crazy. I actually didn't get it. Okay, so here we're going to stun this guy again, stunning him. We get a replead. There's no point in using burst yet. Again, this is kind of just how the game is. You got to just keep going slow. It's going to be a slow process, but we're getting there. As bad as it looks, we're getting there. Unfortunately, I actually cannot catch this guy for some reason. I feel like he's been in the air 90% of the game. We're going to vanish here on the sleep. Just kidding. So here. Nice, he misses his stun. We're actually going to kidney shot him. We're going to bomb him here, bombing. This is where we're going to burst just quick, even if he's going to dispel it anyway. He actually doesn't dispel it immediately. That's pretty crazy. We're going to blind off this, full blind. So we get the full blind off. We're going to gouge off that DR, then we're going to put bleeds up on him. Man, I have never been able to not hit somebody in my entire life. So here we're going to gouge. We're going to use Tempest on him, so we're Tempesting. We're going to swap back here. We're going to feint. I'm super slow. Just give me a minute. We're going to get there. We're getting there. Now I can kidney shot him. Full kidney shot. We have maximum damage here. Huge damage. I don't think they understand the damage I'm putting out right now. So we're going to Tempest. We're going to gouge this guy. Or Rope. We're going to kick his cast. This is where we're going to shiv. So we're doing maximum damage. He doesn't know how much damage is going out right now. I'm going to trigger this. He immediately cast it. They're both still dying here. We're big damage here. We're doing maximum damage. We're going to re-rupture. We're going to cloak this. We're staying on top of them. Again, we're forcing them to play super defensive. We have Night Elf Racial soon, so I'm going to feint here. We're going over to the healer. We're going to use Rupture again. So again, keeping our burst up. We're going to feint again because we are literally dying there. I'm going to kidney shot this guy, so we full kidney shot. Now we have big burst here, so we have maximum damage. So this is where we're going to do maximum damage right now. So we're going to shiv. We're going to use Night Elf Racial to garrote him. Maximum damage here. Oh, that kind of sucks. Oh! Yeah, he reps. That's worst case scenario, but we're going to vanish. We're going to cheap shot. That's actually crazy that he just did that. So I'm going to garrote. I'm actually going to cheap shot him first and then garrote. Immediately put the damage out. Big damn. We're doing maximum output right now. He doesn't know how much damage is going out right now. We're kicking this guy immediately. Hopefully we get a DCP on the fear. Nice, we get a DCP. We're going to stun this guy. He's going to trigger immediately. We're going to shiv him. Nice, he gets slept. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're going to kick. Just kidding. We're going to re-shiv this guy. Nice, we dodge it again. This guy is getting dodged out of the wazoo. We're going to grow. This is where we're going to Deathmark. We're going to Deathmark hard here. Full Deathmark. We're doing maximum output. We're going to feint here. Hopefully I don't die. I'm trying to kill him here. We're trying to kill. We're so close to killing here. I don't know why I can't hit this guy, but we're going to try to kill him here, and he gets taken out. Somehow, we win the game. This is a unwinnable situation for us, but we end up taking home the dub. As you can see, he can dispel every single death mark we have. He can never be touched, and I like touching people. Don't say pause. I'm not saying pause, but I'm going to meet you in the next game, matter of fact. Alrighty, we're loading into the next map. A lot of people lately have been saying I'm washed up. If I'm being honest, that's probably true, but I'm still better than 99% of the players that play the game, so even if that is the truth, it ain't the truth. Now, I'm running cheat death. I don't care what any of you say. If I face an MM Hunter right now in today's currency, That's $1 million. You face a MM Hunter in 2025, you're automatically losing almost every game, almost by default, either a BM Hunter or a MM Hunter. If you face either one, so the fact that I was able to beat any Hunter in general is a big accomplishment. That being said, we're gonna go the Hunter now. We are facing a Shaman. The good thing about facing a Shaman is they're not doing as much damage as a Dev Evoker or a Disc Priest. I meant Evoker, but same thing. So here we're going to immediately run in. We're just going to sprint because I'm not waiting. This guy actually signed up to my group a while back, but I didn't want to play it, you know. So here we're going to grow, immediately stun him. He's probably going to stun me. It doesn't matter. We're going to Tempest. We're swapping to the Hunter here. So immediately trying to get the Hunter. We double fan. I'll trigger this because why not? I want to get my growths off before he does anything. Get a full kidney shot here. Big damage. Ooh, he trinkets. So that's really good for us. The reason that's good is because next go, I can stun bomb him. So we're going to gouge him on all of his CDs. Off this, we're going to use Tempest. So a full Tempest. We're going to reapply Growth. Now get ready, because we're going to use our Vanish. This is the perfect time. He's off DR, so we're going to Vanish. We're going to Growth him, Rupture him. Off this, we're going to stun him as well. So we're going to Growth, stun. We're going to... Oh, wait, I tried to step. I didn't have it. So here we're going to Rebleed. Hopefully my guy got me. I'm just going to walk to this guy, because I'm just going to Rupture him here. I should be... I'll disarm him. I should be okay. Okay, I'll get to play the... Hold on. We're going to play the game eventually. Don't worry. This is where we're going to blonde him. So I know we've been waiting a while just to play the game. Okay, hold on. I'm using my Night Elf Racial so I can get my common points quicker. So we're going to Growth this guy, Growting. We're going to Evasion, because why not? This is where we're going to Growth again. We're going to blind this guy. The reason we're blinding is because why not? This is where we're going to bomb. So we bomb him here. This is where we do maximum damage right now. We're going to Vanish. We're going to Shiv. We're going to Cheap Shot again. And bang, he gets taken out. That's what happens when you do your rotation correctly, ladies and gentlemen. That's where those DR stuns and all that burst is coming into play. It might have looked unwinnable, which again, it should be unwinnable, but when you do things how I do things, you set yourself up to win. Now, the reason we didn't burst in the opener is because what we want to do is, you want to burst the second go. The reason we're doing that is we're trying to base is Trinket. Your Trinket won't... We do not want to just base Trinket off Deathmark. What I want to do is I want to base every CD off my Deathmark. So when I'm using my Deathmark, I'm looking for the Smoke Bomb with his no Trinket. The fact that he used Trinket in the opener when he didn't need to, a lot of people do that. The reason they do that is because they're bursting and they want to get their burst rotation off. I think we've all done it. We've all been on our burst, we've gotten CC'd or stunned by somebody, and we Trinket to keep doing our burst. 90% of people actually do this, even if they're not taking damage. You gotta look for those openings like I just did. That's when you're using your Smoke Bomb. Had we not had Smoke Bomb, Woody would have died? Probably not. That's what you're looking for, though. You're looking for those tiny gaps where these people, they think they're okay, but that's how fast your burst is. Now, this is another prime example. Resto Druids. Anytime you face a Resto Druid, you have to go them. I don't care if you're going them 80% of the time or 90%. You gotta go the Druid. Now, again, this is the big problem that a lot of people don't understand. Survival Hunters and Prez Evokers. The one downside to these guys is they can dispel all of your bleeds. Every single one of them. Now, I don't know if Survival Hunter still has the badge that takes off all your bleeds. I'm 90% sure they still have it. If he does have it, unfortunately, you still have to go the Druid, but you can go Hunter more often. Again, this is kind of a tricky comp for us. It doesn't really matter if it's a Survival Hunter, because it's a Hunter in general, and then obviously Survival completely counters most things counter Assassination Rogue, which most people don't even know. That being said, we're going in regardless. So here we're going in. This guy thinks he can get away from me, but it's not going to happen. I'm going in immediately. It's nice. So we get them both out by default. So we're going to bleed this guy here. We're going to immediately put Ruptures up. We're going to bleed this guy as well, so bleed him. We're going to put a Rupture up. Nice, I can use another step. Nice. Alright, so we're not going to go the Druid. The reason we're not is because obviously he's in bear form. No point to go... Oh, yep, he is using the badge. He uses the badge on absolute air, though, so that's really good. So the next stun we have, I'll have a full bleed on him. So we're going to Vanish on his trap. We're going to stun the Hunter here. I don't know why I'm dying, but okay. So we're going to put Ruptures out here, trying to get this guy. Ooh, I couldn't get into him in time. It's okay. We're going to Vanish again. We're going to Cheap Shot him. This is where we're going to full burst him here. Look at the damage. Look at it. Look at it. He doesn't know what's going on in the game. He should be dead, and he gets taken out. And again, this is what happens when you face the X. They don't know the damage that's coming and what I'm capable of doing. So, what did the Hunter do incorrectly? He used his badge on a non-Deathmark deal. So you saw in the opener, in the Druid, another prime thing. When did he use Trinket? That's what you got to figure out. Now, had he had Deathmark with the Trinket, he would have been okay. Alrighty. So at the end of my video before this clip, I said, when did he use his Trinket? I guess I didn't clarify on that because I watched back my own clip. So, when you trinket as a healer or anybody in general, your goal is not to trinket late. So, for example, let's say I was the druid. If I get kidney shot or cheap shotted out of form, and on the moment I see Deathmark, I'm gonna trinket Ironbark, maybe even tree form at that point. But there's the only time an Assassination Rogue, or really anybody's gonna be able to kill you, is on their CDs. So you gotta just trade accordingly. That was the mistake. That's all he did. The fact, if you look at the video, he trinketed at 10%. You can't really do that. He actually almost ended up living had he trinketed early. This is another really bad comp for us, but we're gonna, regardless, this is gonna be the last clip as long as the last win. So, let's try to get this over. We're just gonna immediately open. We're gonna cheap shot him early. We're gonna grow it again. Immediately grow it more time just for the comp points. We're gonna immediately put Tempest and we're gonna hide. So as you can see, my guy CC'd and we're getting a free re-stealth. So we're gonna cheap shot him up here. Just kidding. I get a re-stealth again. Nice cheap shot him. Immediately grow. I'm not gonna trinket because there's nothing going on. I'm gonna cheap shot him again. We're gonna grow. We're gonna grow the healer here. So grow the healer. Rupture the healer. He's gonna fear in a second. So I'm gonna line out. Nice. At this point, we're gonna Tempest this guy here. So full Tempest. We're gonna feint because why not? Nice. Okay. So again, they have not done a single thing yet, and that's really good for us. We're gonna vanish. He's gonna fear. So we're looking for that fear. We're gonna gouge the hunter. We're gonna stun him now. He's gonna trinket. Nope, maybe not. We're gonna cheap shot him again. This is where we're gonna grow the healer. We're gonna kidney shot the healer. Even if it's DR, by the time our DRs are good anyway, we're gonna disarm this guy actually. It's nice. Disarm, we're gonna Tempest both of them. So even though that kidney might have seemed bad, it was actually not, it was not bad at all, really. So by the time we need it, it might not have been the greatest actually now that I think about it, but whatever. So here we're gonna blind, we're gonna vanish, we're gonna cheap shot it. Nice, so we get trinket for free, we're gonna re-bleed him, we're gonna stun the healer now. So again, we're just keeping up our pressure. We're going to gouge the hunter because he's doing some unhealable damage to my healer right now. That's not good. I could just kidney shot the shield off, but I'm not going to bother with it because by the time my DRs are off anyway, it's going to come off. We're going to shiv him just so we can keep the pressure going. We're going to run back to the healer here. We're going to immediately feint because we know he's going to swap to us here in a second. We're going to shiv both of them. We're going to Tempest. This is where we're just going to do unhealable burst. I don't care about the stun. You think I care about the stun? Even if he gets off my bleeds, it don't matter. I'm doing unhealable damage. They don't know what's happening. He fakes my kick. That's okay. It doesn't even matter. I'm just doing unhealable damage. We're going to Tempest again. We're going to swap to this guy here. He's going to CC my healer because that's... Oh, nice. We're going to use our... Ooh, perfect. So as you can see, I use my Night Elf Racial. We're going to DR stun this guy. Just to keep pressure, we're going to DR stun him again on his burst. We're going to disarm off that. We're going to shiv both of them. Again, we're keeping our damage off. I have evasion available. I'm not going to use it just yet. And we're just doing unhealable damage. He doesn't know what's happening in the game, but we are doing unhealable damage. We're going to go back to this guy here. We're going to gouge him all off this guy's dam because he's killing my healer somehow. Big damage here. We're going to feint because he is doing a literal amount of unhealable. Now watch this. He has no trinket. He's going to be scared here. We're going to kidney shot him here. We're going to bomb him here. Ooh, big bomb, big bomb. Fortunately, it did nothing. We shivved into that. It's okay. Whatever. I'm going to vanish here. I'm going to break his CC because I want maximum damage. You think I care about anything but maximum damage here? We're going to immediately put max damage back up. We're going to growth this guy. We're going to immediately Tempest both of them. Oh, he takes all my bleeds, but I re-growed him with the extra growth, so it's doing more damage to him. We're going to re-rupture. We're going to CC the healer as well, or rupture him. We're going to rupture. We're going to put a growth up on him. We're going to feint here. I was about to kick into that on accident, but it's okay. We're going to re-growth this guy, so we're going to shiv both of them. We're going to kidney shot. So full kidney. This is big burst right here. Huge burst. You don't understand the burst that I'm doing right now. Big burst. Big burst. I'm going to gouge this guy here. Dang, he has... That's actually a crazy skill. We're going to blind this guy off that. So big blind. We're going to Tempest him. Big damage here. Look at that damn. He just doesn't understand. We're going to wait to event him. Now we event him and we take him out. And again, the reason we didn't immediately event him is because he had that shield. Had I evenomed immediately, guess what would have happened? Well, his shield would have ate my venom and I wouldn't have been able to kill him. That's where you're looking for those curves. Now, a lot of people would have just been spamming a venom to try to kill him. You gotta look for that. Every time a hunter feign deaths, he's gonna have a shield. Had you venom immediately, well, you probably wouldn't have killed him there. Now, as you can see, look at the damage. It looked all super sloppy, right? We had DR stuns in there. This is literally just Free games. This is me logging on the game and playing the game. This is really all it takes, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Maybe we'll have a sub-rogue guy next and an outlaw. But that being said, make sure you smash the like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace, peace.